Hello and welcome. My name is Cramps, and today I'll be showing off some mapping here on my Combustion Sorceress. A few people have been asking, so thought I might record a little video. Let's start by going over the gear. There are obviously different ways of building this character. My preferred way is using a skull collector, mainly because of the magic find and the mana after each kill. The higher DPS version would be a Mang Songs, but in this case, Skull Collector is very good, especially for T1s and T2s, because you get that added magic find. My current setup, I'm at 146 magic find. But yeah, this is 6 fire passes in here, all of them -5s. There's some 4s and 3s, I think, in there. Just bought the cheapest ones I could get at the time. I'm wearing 30 FCR Mage Fists, a Constricting Loop for life after each kill, 20 FCR, some strength to wear gear, Arachnid Mesh. Wait, why did I do that? Why is my gear not locked? So 20 FCR on the racks, 24 Magic Find Slam, very nice slam for me. Stone of Jordan with a life slam, this was the best slam I've gotten so far myself. Would prefer FCR or LPK here, but this does something at least. Silk Weaves with life after each kill. Getting life after each kill and mana after each kill is obviously very important on sorceress builds, so these are pretty much as close as you can get to best in slot if you want to use that terminology. Using a Combustion Sorceress with a faster hit recovery slam. This is very key to the build because it has that 8% chance to cast a level 23 combustion on casting, which means you will be popping off some extra combustions without having to press your buttons. Obviously it has FCR and free to combustion and some fire skill damage on there. This is not the best slam you can get, but it is up there. Faster hit recovery is very important. As you see, I'm sitting at the 86 breakpoint, which is where I want to be. You can go 60 if you want to, but 86 is preferred. I'm using a 320 amulet to hit my 200 FCR breakpoint. Again, I prefer this, especially since you're mainly just throwing your fireballs, so as fast as you can throw those, better, and you're then telling around. So faster casting, better. I'm using Akira's. I bought this as is. There's 3 5/4 fastest in there, so it's 29 fire pierce. It also helps that there is FHR, cannot be frozen, and some res, even though the res is not that important. We'll get back to that. I'm using Geats. This is just my vendor Geats. I was doing some crafting, but yeah, as high as possible. Magic Find on Geats. I should have a 41 right there. Let's swap to that so we don't lose out on some gains. Other than that, I have 3 FHR skillers, the rest are lifers, a torch, a fire skill LC, Annie. You would preferably have a 2 skill here if you're going for max DPS. For me, I'm aiming at 99 at some point of the season, so I'm just using the 15 XP one here. Rest of the small charms are all poison res. 2 with FHR, the rest with some sort of life. Most of these are self-found. On swap, CTA, lidless. So the reason for all these poison res charms is because I'm using energy shield, and when you're using energy shield, the only resistance that matters is poison res, which I have capped. Other than that, the rest of the reses here are kinda bad, but it doesn't matter. Energy shield absorbs all the elemental damage, and the resistances only apply after your energy shield is depleted. Other notable things here is the 11 LPK, 19 MPK to give a lot of sustain. Make sure both of your globes here is always full, especially since I'm using a constricting loop, which is draining my life currently. We're almost dying. For the skills, I have 1 point shiver armor, 1 point teleport, and max energy shield. If you go with the higher DPS version with the Mang songs, instead of using energy shield, you would just put your points into teleport to lower the damage penalty on that. In the fire tree, so obviously where all our damage is, max firebolt, max combustion, max fire mastery. I need one more level to get there. 97 is the sweet spot. If you go with energy shield, 1 point warmth. My mercenary is using an infinity, a flickering flame, because the resist fire aura here actually gives me damage. So as you see, when we're in town here, we have 13 to 14k fireball, 8.9 to 10k combustion. If we go out here, you see it's higher. Not by a lot, but it's something. Other than that, he's just got whatever PDR, ED armor I've crafted that's somewhat useful. There's a shield in here to give him at least some hit recovery. He's wearing leather gouts for IES and some reses and half freeze. The other half freeze is on flickering flame. He's got a string of ears, Aura Slam, and a pair of Gore Riders. So he's somewhat tanky, 41 PDR, cap reses, more fire res, a little bit of FHR, a little bit of IS. He could go higher, but I prefer using this armor instead of putting on something with IS. But yeah, let's talk about some maps here. There are few maps that are really good for this. I prefer for T1s Royal Crypts, because there's no fire immunes and there's a lot of mobs in there that dies very easily. Same goes for Tomb of Salt and Cool, no fire immunes and a lot of low health mobs. Other than that, you can run Ancestral Trial, which is great. Blood Moons for T3s. Other T3s would be Pandemonium Citadel and Phlegeton. Even though this says fire immunes on here, it's only the big fire breathers that actually do fire, and that actually is fire immune. The rest of the stuff dies really easily, and this is actually the map I can do the highest DPS on. So very good map for that. You just leave those big guys alone, or let your mercenary kill it if you want to stand around for that. The best maps are ones that have walls, since your fireballs and your combustion explodes on the walls and does AoE damage. That's why Crypts and Assault and Cool is very good. But yeah, let's do one map. So when I go into map, I obviously BC, I BO, then I throw up my shiver armor and my energy shield, and yeah, then just teleport around, do your fireball whenever your combustion is off cooldown, you cast that, destroy everything around you, and you just hope for a lot of combustion procs. At some point here, we'll hopefully see some double procs, where I have 2 combustions going. But yeah, as you have your bone armor proc on the skull collector and you have your energy shield, you're very tanky. You can get into trouble sometimes. But then have a belt of potions, right? Drink a potion. So, as you see, you just clear all the mobs. There are a few mobs that are somewhat annoying for this build, like those little flying scimitars we saw there. Because they have very small hitboxes, they can be hard to hit. You might miss them with your combustion. Let's see how many. There's one that survived there. Didn't get a hit on him. Obviously you will encounter fire immune still that can't be broken by your mercenary. And for those, you just either leave them alone or let your mercenary deal with them. Obviously you wanna open all the poppables. Not only is it hella fun, but they also have a great chance of some decent loot. And whilst on a sorceress, there's really no excuse for not opening poppables, since you have telekinesis, and yeah, it's just very easy to do. And because you're actually casting, you have a proc chance on your combustion almost, and your bone shield, or bone armor rather. So yeah, what you do, just tele around, do your combustion. There are a few modifiers on maps you'd wanna avoid, preferably. Actually, these cows is not great for it. They're not terrible, but higher life mods, like minions of destruction, those are kind of bad. Especially since they put you in hit recovery, so they can stun lock you. So try to avoid those kind of mods, especially if you don't have high FHR. And if you still run them, just make sure that you don't telestomp them. Other modifiers you would want to avoid is minus faster hit recovery. And like double roll max life, that's not great. 50 extra life, especially before you have a lot of damage. That's not very good. But I did a 50 max life Blood Moon yesterday, and it was alright. Took me less than 15 minutes, and since Blood Moon is a pretty big map, it's alright. Yeah, as you can see, we rarely get into trouble, and when we lose life like we did there because of our high LPK, we get it right back. You can get unlucky with the procs on the bone armor on Skull Collector. As you see here, we've been running around without it for a while. There we got a proc. And it's actually kind of important to have that up at most times. You can, if you want to, you can stand in the start of the map and just throw some fireballs until you get your first procs. If you want to start off your map already tanky. Oh, you don't need it. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's Cold Master, right? Oh, that's somewhat sad. 3 Cold Nova, Frost Nova, and 2 Cold Mastery, but on a 4 OS base, you can't make a Doom in that. You could make an Infinity if you wanted to, but why would you do that? Yeah, I really like this build. It's very fun. It's very fun watching the combustion procs go off and clearing the room. Alright, there we go. think that was, what, 4 minutes? Maybe a bit more. I was talking at the same time, so. But most Royal Crypts you can do in less than 6 minutes at least. The same with Soulton Cools. I do loot a lot, as you saw. Which I think you should. Like, that's the fun of the game, right? You should get some loot. But yeah, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below and I'll get back to you ASAP. Other than that, have a great season. Hope to see you guys out there for a long time. And go grab those goddamn high runes. GG's.